Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. And moving on to electrical trauma, here we have written in the slide that the electricity exerts two major effects on the body. Electricity exerts two major effects on the body. The first one is cellular depolarization of nerves and muscles, and the second one is heat production. So these two effects, the first one is depolarization, and the second one is heat production. Depolarization is going to manifest itself by a certain jerky motion of the body once it comes in contact with some conductor or any high voltage or some current. So the person will manifest a certain jerky motion, and once the event is over, once there is disconnection between the current source and the body, this jerky motion will cease to exist. And so this depolarization, half of the effects of electricity, gave no lasting finding. They give no lasting findings to help us in the medico-legal settings, to help the forensic pathologists to establish the cause of death as electricity. On the other hand, the heat causes specific thermal lesions. This causes specific thermal lesions that can help us establish the cause of death on the autopsy table. So our focus will be this. The heat effects of the electricity on the body. So moving on and seeing what we have there. So types of electrical lesion. There can be two types of electrical lesion. And the first one, as is the title of this slide, contact lesion, and the second one is spark lesion. Now, what is a contact lesion? Contact lesion is a lesion in which skin comes in contact with the surface of a conductor. So there is a direct flow of current between the conductor and the body. Body becomes a part of conductor because it comes in contact with the conductor. This is known as contact lesion. But when there is a slight gap between the conductor and the body, so a spark can flow from the conductor to the body. This is known as spark lesion, and we will study and discuss spark lesion in the coming slides. But as the title of this slide displays, here the topic is contact lesion. So usually there is a discrete focal point of entry. Usually there is a discrete focal point of entry of current, and the current gets concentrated at that point. Enough energy gets transferred that this causes a lesion. This causes a thermal lesion on the skin at the point of entry. Now, what are the characteristics of this thermal lesion? The characteristics are that there will be there will be a blister, and this blister occurs at the site where conductor comes in firm contact with the skin. What is a blister? Blister is a chala. So the point of contact will be marked by a blister. And the second thing that you should keep in mind is that the point of contact will have raised edges. Let's suppose these are the edges. It will have raised edges and central concavity. It will be like an RBC. How you are going to remember the contact lesion? I will tell you a silly way of remembering it once we go to the spark lesion as well, and the things will get quite comfortable once you are through these slides. So trust me, and let's move on. Here is in text what we have already described. The focal electrical lesion is usually a blister which occurs when the conductor is in firm contact with the skin, and at the site of the contact the skin usually collapses and there is a raised rim with a concave center, exactly like an RBC. And characteristically the skin is pale, often white, and there is an areola of pallor. So if these are the raised margins of this focal lesion, of this focal contact electrical lesion to be more correct, so there will be a ring of pallorness, a ring of yellow discoloration. But why didn't I bother explain it in the last slide? Because it is present in every type of electrical lesion, i.e. it can be seen in contact lesion and it can also be seen in spark lesion. So it's not a very specific finding that will help you exactly establish the cause of death. And the last point is that the skin peels off the large blisters, leaving a red base. You see, here is the skin peeling off, and also there is a little bit charring or scorching. What is charring? Charring is simply burning something to charcoal, i.e. blackening of skin. So that's all about the contact lesion. And now we move on to the second electrical lesion, the spark lesion. And the spark lesion occurs when there is sparking between the conductor and the body surface. There is no direct contact. So the other type of electrical mark is a spark burn, when there is an air gap between the metal and the skin. Here a central nodule of fused keratin is formed, which is characteristically brown in color. At the site of sparking, the keratin will get accumulated. The keratin from surrounding will get accumulated, kind of wrinkled. So from surrounding, the keratinocytes will move like this. This will cause fused nodule, and also there will be a pale areola. But like I previously mentioned, pale areola is not a very specific finding. It's found in every type of electrical lesion. So recalling a little bit what we have gone through up till now, we said that electrical lesions can be divided into contact lesions and spark lesions. Contact lesion, the name gives you everything. There is direct contact between the conductor and the body, and spark when there is an air gap and the current is transferred through the phenomena of sparking. How are you going to remember the different findings? The first thing that you should bear in mind that in both of the cases there will be a surrounding pale areola. So it is a non-specific finding. Now you see that the word contact has C in it, and the word collapse has C in it. So in contact wound, the skin will get collapsed. The skin will get collapsed and there will be a central concavity of the lesion. Like I previously said, there will be an RBC-like morphology of this lesion. So there will be central concavity with raised margins. So this will help you remember the contact lesion. This word spark, now coming to the spark half of the electrical lesion, the word spark has keratin. So it will be the specific finding of sparking will be keratin nodules, because sparking will cause fusing of the keratin, wrinkling of the surface keratin. So that's the silly way of remembering. That's how I try to remember things. If you come up with some better mnemonics or some another way, kindly tell me, or you can write in the comments if you like. Now moving on to the spark lesion. Now that's just text of what we have already gone through. The other type of electrical mark is a spark burn, and it occurs when there is an air gap between the metal and the skin. Here is central nodule of fused keratin, which is characteristically brown or yellow in color and is surrounded by an areola of pale skin. And in high voltages, multiple spark burns may occur and cause large areas of damage. And this is known as crocodile skin because of its appearance. And here is a picture of crocodile skin. Crocodile is a reptile, and its skin is quite serrated, quite rough. So you see there is quite a roughness in this aspect of the poor victim. So this is known as crocodile skin. And that's all about the electrical lesions, the electrocution. Now we move on to the lightning and the findings we see in the autopsy table in cases of lightning. Now that's not a very beautiful illustration, but I couldn't find a better illustration. So, but trust me, it will help you retain what you, or help you consolidate what you should know. A little bit background about the lightning. Hundreds of deaths occur each year with atmospheric lightning. A lightning strike from cloud to earth may involve property. It can involve animals and humans, even buildings, etc. And the huge electrical forces are involved, and hypothetically it can range up to millions of volts and millions of amperes. So it's a huge jolt. Some of the lesions caused to those who are struck directly or simply caught close to lightning are purely electrical, but most of the lesions due to lightning are of thermal nature. Most of the lesions due to lightning are of thermal lesion. So there can be direct contact with the lightning. By the way, what is lightning? Thundering, garaj chamak. So there can be direct contact with the lightning and close contact with the lightning. In direct contact, there will be different findings, and in close contact, there will be the findings of thermal lesions. Our focus will be the direct contact, and then the close contact, the findings will be like that of sparking. So that's not our focus here. Our focus will be the direct contact of the poor victim with the lightning. Now, as the lightning strikes a poor victim, the first thing that occurs that when the lightning strikes, so there is an entrance wound, there is a site of entry of the lightning, and then the lightning makes its course through the body and gets released, gets conducted to the ground or certain other objects that is in that time in contact with the poor victim. So there is an there is an entrance site, there is an exit site, and there is a path covered by the lightning in the body. The entrance site will cause surface burns, and the path that it covers will cause linear burns. And the exit site is not very much affected because the current doesn't get concentrated here. The current is just passing through and finally exiting, finally leaving at peace the body of the poor victim. So there will be two patterns of lesions, electrical lesions found on the body. First one will be the entry, where there will be surface burnings, and the other will be linear markings, which will reflect, which will help you determine the course that the lightning took as it moved from the site of entry to the site of exit. Now the next slide is a very high yield slide, the most high yield slide of this whole lecture, because and this slide is a KMU past paper MCQ, and it has hypothetically saying it has occurred like tens of times, dozens of times in the past paper. So you must bear that in mind. What is arborizing pattern? Like we previously mentioned, if a body of a victim comes in contact with the lightning, so there will be an entry site and an exit site, and between the entry and exit site, there will be the passage of current, the linear burns that you will see. A characteristic type of this linear burn is called arborizing pattern. Arborizing pattern, or this is also known as fern-like pattern, or another term for it is Lichtenberg phenomena. These are different names of the same thing. Here is a cartoon illustration and here is a real picture. What does it reflect? Arborizing patterns are due to passage of current in the blood vessels, and the pattern is arborizing like the branches of a tree. This pattern, this fern-like pattern, fern is a plant, if you remember from your botany in the first year FEC. Fern is a plant, and this pattern is just like the leaves, the branches of this fern plant. So this pattern is characteristic finding of the lightning, the hallmark of the findings, the most best finding, and that can help you determine the cause of death in case of lightning. And another a low yield concept, I should say, but anyhow, I think it won't harm you to remember it, is something called sledgehammer effect. The name gives you everything. Sledgehammer simply means that the person comes in contact with a high yield source, a high yield current, or this person comes in contact with high voltage source and is suddenly thrown far away from the source. The person is thrown away because of this interaction between the charges in the body and the charges in the and the charges of the current, and they kind of repel each other. There are interactions. We don't need to go in detail of the interactions because that's the concern of electrical engineer or anyone who's interested in physics. Our job is just to determine, our job is just to know what happens to the body of the victim, because that's what forensic is concerned about. So that's all about this electrocution and lightning, and that's all you need to know.